Greetings and salutations, race fans, motorsport lovers, and others. Welcome to stage 3, day 4 of Dakar 2025 on race day. 327 kilometers of racing today. I'm Colin. I'm joined as per usual by some other guy, Clifford.
Everyone else is me.
Cliffy, what a day of racing.
What a day, a short day, quick trip to the shops and back.
Yeah, 327 Ks and then like 700,000 kilometers of liaison.
Yep.
The guys have got into the bivouac just shortly before 7 o'clock our times, going straight into 8 o'clock their time, going straight into the driver's briefing for tomorrow, the beginning of the marathon stage. I'll tell you what, thick and fast, lots of action straight away in this race.
Absolutely.
There was action galore today, and I think a couple of standouts for me. First of all, the overall winner of today's stage, Sahoud Veriawa and Francois Cazelet. Got to say, huge shout out to them, 19 years old. The youngest winner of a stage overall in Dakar in the history, straight after Seth Quintera won earlier in the week as well, 19 years old. After yesterday's, shall we call it, disaster and drama of rebuilding the car last night, the Gazoo mechanics worked all night, gave him a car, and he came out of the blocks absolutely flying. It was a very, very impressive drive. Another highlight, well, low light for today was Sebastian Loeb, who had a massive crash. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Well, here we go. May as well watch it now. Kicks up at the back, you'll see it on the right hand side, a little bit of a rock, and there we go. Somebody who knows Sebastian very, very well said to me today it caught him out suddenly. He basically didn't have a chance and believes that could be engineered, that back suspension could be engineered out of the car. Very sad to see that. He lost over an hour. Got the car running, but there's bits of dacia and carbon fiber all over the desert. I'm very interested to see what the rules say about picking up all the detritus from damage. They did have 2 flat wheels, and the rules there are very, very clear, where you're allowed a maximum of 2 wheels when you leave the pits, and whatever you leave with, you've got to bring back in terms of the wheels. So I've had my brief highlight of the cars, a high-level summary. Remember, you can send us some questions, queries, comments, and or other remarks, both on the YouTube and on the Facebook. What we have a collective machine that collects everything. Henk's a brilliant machine, and puts it all together for us, and we're going to try and split that out today so that we can share with you. If you're watching on the YouTube and there's a Facebook remark, you don't have to go and look at it. That's one of our little tweaks. Each day we try to be a little bit better than the day before.
Absolutely. Let's jump into the bikes, Colin. So,
let's go, Cliff.
Yeah, interesting day today. A bit of a shake-up at the front, so that makes it exciting.
Yeah.
So, to break Sanders' winning streak on the KTM, Lorenzo Santolino came in today in first place on a Sherco. Followed by Ricky Brabeck, Skylar Howes, and then Ross Branch sitting 4th. Benavides Fitco, Quintanilla, Canet, who's the fastest of the Rally 2 guys, came in in 8th place. Mishek 9th, Epsa 10th, and then Doherty finished in 12th place. So good one for him. What I didn't know was, and I picked this up on some of the socials, is that he's riding with a shoulder injury. It could be fractured. So I mean, I don't even want to know what that must have been like through the chrono stage. But another good ride from him in 12th. Bradley Cox 14th, who was leading at the 242 kilometer mark and was the fastest guy out on the course at that stage.
Awesome to see that.
Yeah. So. Like brilliant day for him, and for me potentially ride of the day. But then a bit of a penalty slapped on his wrist of 6 minutes, which pushed him down the field. And then Daniel Sanders.
That penalty, just very quickly. That was for overspeeding,
yes.
Top speed overspeeding.
Yes.
So that's a proper quick bike.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the bikes are pretty much restricted to a certain speed, so he must have been absolutely flying. So, yeah, pity that the penalties come his way, and that pushed him quite far down, because it would have been a great stage the day after his old man's birthday. But, yeah, where you ask is Daniel Sanders, well, I'll tell you, he opened the road this morning and finished down in 21st place. So he had his difficulties opening the road. And then our South African boys, if we look down, we've got Aaron Mayer finished 25th, and then Dwayne Barnard 67th, and Willem Avenant, who did manage to finish the stage yesterday, he finished in 110th place. He said that the Chrono stage was the most difficult 2 days of riding that he's done in his life, and he had issues with his bike overheating, which makes it a little bit more tricky. So he had to stop every once in a while and just let the bike breathe for a few seconds, and then he was back on the road. But good thing is there's been no withdrawals today. Like I said, short stage trip to the shops and back. But if we look at the overall and where the guys stand, if we look on the GP list so far for the 3 stages we've had, it's still Sanders out front now on the 20-hour mark of racing. Skylar House second with Ross Branch in third. But if you look, the gap has closed quite a bit with Ross Branch sitting 2 minutes and 5 seconds behind Sanders. So the race has opened up again.
We like ducks.
Yeah.
Because there's so much stuff happening at the moment.
There's just too much. Yeah. Looking further down on the GP class, we've got Bradley Cox, who's 11th, Aaron Mayer, which is 18th. Rally 2, just to touch on it quickly. Canet, the Spanish hotshot, he's still up front, but Michael Doherty 5 minutes behind, with Ebster 9 minutes behind. Dwayne Barnard is 46th, and Willem Avenant is 87th. So that's all the bike stuff that's happened. If you want to know what happened in the manufacturers, 5 KTMs, 1 Shirka, 3 Hondas, 1 Hero, and a Partridge and a Pear Tree in the top 10.
And what about our Chinese bike with the KTM motor?
So not doing too great. We'd have to research where they are at the moment, but they've had a few tough stages, so they've drifted quite far
It's called
down.
a camel toe.
Not a camel toe, hot toe. It's a different kind of toe, Colin.
We've been part of the, sorry, I didn't mean to be, there's a lot of things happening. We've tried to line up interviews in Saudi. The guys have just come out of driver's briefing, and I'm told that we've got Brian Baragwanath with us, which will be really great. Brian, are you with us? And welcome to the madness of race day and our coverage every evening.
Hi, cool. Nice to see you guys. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. It'd be lovely to see you. But we've got picture and sound. Well done on today. You got it to the end.
Yeah, thank you.
Brian, what's this penalty that you've got here? I see there's 7 minutes. Were you just going too fast?
Is it 7? I thought it's 2.
It could change. It's a dynamic thing, this. On the results, it's showing 7. Sorry to give you the bad news. I'm sure...
okay. Yeah, we had an issue with our tablet today, so we should get that time back. The tablet aerial wasn't working, so I do suspect that will be okay.
Well, I hope you get it back. How was your power steering today? I think we've gone choppy. You know, in South Africa, we've got brilliant cell phone signal. In Saudi, it chops and changes. It turns out that there was a belt, I believe, on the Century that was giving them power steering problems. We are going to try and talk to some other drivers. We've got Daniel Schroeder and Guy Bottrell, who we've trying to get to speak to, but it is all dependent on the level of coverage that that we have and the cell phone signals. You know, the penalties that come up, they reflect. Let's talk about, while we're waiting for reconnection with Brian, bikes. Are you happy that we're done with bikes?
I am, yeah. There's a lot of socials coming in, so where do you want to go from here, Colin?
Yeah, keep them coming in. Shall we? I've got to check the running order because our new...
Peter is back in the house.
We've done the throw forward for good stuff that's coming in the future. We're going to talk a little bit about safety at the end, particularly after seeing that crash of Sebi Loeb. some penalties. And apparently, according to this, it says that we have one or two quick social things there.
So Cass Kruger is not giving us a hard time for being late because today we were on time.
Oh, that's good.
Colin, when you spoke to Glenn, he mentioned something about the design on the Dacia which he thought will cause them handling issues. In your opinion, do you think this contributed to Seb's rollover today?
So I'm not actually understanding that. Perhaps if we could just separate things out, it might work by sending the right kind of signals. Send me some signals of what I need to
So
answer.
they just want to basically know the handling issues that Glenn mentioned when you interviewed him. Do you think that was the cause of today's rollover?
Oh, it would be super presumptuous of me to say that. What I can say is what I was told today, in that that type of kick up is reasonably difficult to suspension out of the suspension of the car, and it takes many years of running a chassis and dynamic damper tuning to get it to be able to be a little bit not as twitchy for the driver. Yeah, he got caught out. It was racing.
And that suspension on those cars is next level.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
and they've got these massive tires that are huge. The butts in the four-ways gym even have difficulty picking them up. Of course, racing drivers are very strong and they pick them up easily. But at high speed, the dynamic forces are absolutely huge. So, yeah, dampers have got to damp.
Bentley's in the house. He says, congrats, Saud. What a comeback that was. Because your mechanics can work on a moon shuttle. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely salute, Saud. Absolutely brilliant drive. What a comeback.
Then we've got here, let's have a look. Sorry, my screen's just
We are busy trying to connect to the guys in Saudi. I might have sent everybody the same link and everybody's crashing in on the same link at the same time. So, mea culpa.
Craig Galvin, evening guys, great day for SA, Saud, brilliant, but 10, 11, 12 for the other 3 SA guys. Bit of a strategy coming to play for the marathon, question mark.
Yep.
Such a pity about Bradley's penalty. Yeah, absolutely. The penalty is a bit of a heartbreaker, but your thoughts there on the strategy?
We'll talk about that a little bit later when we get into strategy. Let's talk, we've got to keep on track. Let's talk about the results, and as soon as we've got someone from Saudi, they'll come in on the ear, and we'll talk about it. Very briefly, Rian, if we can go to results, we've got Saud Variawa from Guerlain Shishore, who got a 10-second speeding penalty. Seth Kantera in another Toyota coming in third. Guillaume Demevius is an ex-Toyota, one of Glenn Hall's proteges in the Minis. Minis did very well. NASA in sixth. I was surprised that he wasn't quicker.
Okay.
However, the positions today are a large determinant of the starting order for tomorrow, and we don't want to, the guys with the long stage tomorrow, the beginning of the marathon, they don't want to go out and lead it because the roads are split again.
Yeah.
So the guys are going to go out in the first, probably we saw on the chrono stage, the first part of them that were going out were they lost a lot of time. We've got Brian back on the line, I believe, and Daniel Schroeder is also trying to get in, and Guy Bottrell. We queue them up.
We're so popular right now.
It's absolutely wonderful. Brian, are you still there? You're back with us. And we've got, okay, I'm not sure if the guys can send messages to them and ask them to queue up one by one.
Yeah, so we're taking a bit of strain here. Obviously, the connection in Saudi is not great. I mean, it is a desert. But yeah, we are working on a few technical things. Colin is SMSing like I've never seen him SMS before. I hope it's not those Bennett's down at the coast that you met on holiday. But
I've done that, and we're back to Brian. Sorry.
Are we back? Okay, cool.
There's a proper skummel going on here, Brian. We were, what were you talking about? Oh, the power steering. Did you manage to get your power steering sorted out?
Let's move to some comments here while we continue to squirmel. Bentley, Cass Kruger, these speeding fines are total with a couple of stars. Brad won that. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a tough one because rules are rules, and they've got to conform with the rules. And if one person breaks it, then everyone else does it. So, yeah, those are the parameters. I mean, it is what it is.
And let's say you've got I know the car speed limit is 175.
Yeah.
And you can do 178.
Yeah.
So 3 kilometers an hour over 3 hours is a fair distance, which is a fair time.
Yeah.
So I won't call it cheating, but he transgressed the rule.
Yeah.
And I'm strong on, if there's a speed limit, it's a speed limit.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, even if it's small things, if those are the rules, as soon as you allow a bit of leeway, then everyone sort of takes advantage, and that's when rules get horribly broken because it's a continuation and a snowball.
Perhaps, the what Brian and earlier on Henk got caught in when the GPS goes down, and you're in a speed-controlled zone, like a village or a road crossing, sort of 50, 60 k's an hour, and the GPS picks up that it thinks that you're inside the zone, and it pings you for that. That's slightly different to when you're sitting at wide open throttle, flat out, and your speed creeps up a little bit, and that's what we believe happened to Brad.
Yeah.
It's a small... Right, we've got Brian on a new code, and we've got. I'm sorry if we're coming across as a little bit dodgy, but it's properly dynamic. So I wanted to pick up with Brian on the power steering issues, because even though he's got four-wheel drive on the car, and particularly in the dunes, it really is an issue. Talking about the rest of the results, Nasser was 6th on today's stage, Matthias Ekstrom in the Ford 7th, and Matthew Serradori in the Century 8th. So they're having that car is quick when it runs properly. Henk Lategan 12th, and then we've Daniel Schroeder 16th place today. He started 120th. After all of the issues that they had. And I think that's a really, really good issue. That picture that you see there now gives you a great idea of the loose sand. He's hard on the brakes there, and that soft, fine, I think they call it fesh sand that is a little bit dodgy. Our T-shirts, think about them. We'll have a link a little bit later so that you'll be able to buy them, and we've got English and Afrikaans. Right, we've got Brian back on the line. No video, just with voice. So, Brian, I was asking about your power steering. You had some issues earlier on in the race, and I believe you changed a belt and got it sorted out?
We just made it to the rest stop, and what was causing the issue there was a leak on the jack. Every time we lifted the jack, we were losing some oil, so by the time we got to the rest stop, we were running on minimal oil. Then we actually got some oil from Chanil and competitors who helped us out, so thanks to them. We fixed the jack, fixed the leak on that, and we got going. Fortunately, we made it just through the dune section, because no power steering in the dunes would have been fatal. And then the last 150 Ks, we made it in with no power steering, which is really, really physical, and to hang on the wheel with all your force that you have to get it around the simplest corners, and if any bump you hit, you get the direct feedback. So it's something that can, if you get your thumb in the steering while you hit a bump, it actually break your finger. So you got to be really careful.
I guess
so
you
it was
need
a big fight just bringing it home.
And I guess you need a good physio session tonight, Brian.
Got going again after putting in new pumps and new belts and all the rest. Tested everything in the morning, everything was good, and then 9 Ks in, the belt came off. So it's a bit of a mystery. We're not sure if we picked up a rock and a rock got flicked into the belt system or something, but we changed the belt. I changed the belt on the course. Took us 18-20 minutes, and we were off again. So the little problem we had today was our tablet was losing signal, so the speed penalty we got today is 2 minutes. We should get it back. So yeah, that was the drama for the day.
That tablet issue, you're not the only one who's having those sort of problems. Is it a new bit of kit that the FIA have put in the cars?
No, it's a ERTF tablet which we've used all the years along. It's recently the bikes have started using the electronic road book, which is also ERTF product. But in terms of validating waypoints and that sort of thing, it's the same system that we've always used, the same aerials we've always used. It's just a software issue, I think. It's something to do with ERTF. They've been doing it for years. They're getting it wrong, so yeah.
Well, hopefully it gets all sorted out, because these sort of things, they mess with heads, and we're trying to follow it, and it's 7 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and Bradley Cox got a major penalty today that dropped him off the podium, and if it's an error, an organizer's error, it takes away from the excitement of it.
It is frustrating. I mean, I heard Daniel Sanders in his interview earlier saying that he lost his electronic roadbook completely. So, to still validate your waypoints and get through your speed zones and those kind of things, it's really difficult. You have to follow the other guys, and so how the organizers give you that time back, I don't know. I don't know what they do. So,
are you happy with it?
But let's hope they figure it out.
Talk about happy things. The car seems to be really quick. And are you happy with its performance and the development that you've done to get to the race?
Yeah. Very, very happy. The car's been unbelievable. I mean, besides the two little issues we've had, it's been unbelievable. The pace is really good. The suspension's really good. We've been banging bars with, the Alatias, the Lobes, all the guys in the field. So it's been really exciting. Swapping places, seeing the car's ability against the other cars while chopping through the dunes and that sort of thing. So, Mathieu's fortunately had better luck than me now. So it's great that my teammate is flying the flag, and so let's hope we can bring in a good result for the team.
Now you go into the marathon stage, and we saw on the chrono that you kindly loaned a tire to somebody else. Your tire wears, you happy with the tire wear, and you'll be good for the marathon? Yeah,
so the chrono, we got back from the chrono yesterday, so we had a decent full service yesterday, so we're back to normal. Tonight we're doing a lot of big changes, a lot of big services, a lot of work being done tonight to get ready for the marathon stage. The difference we have in the marathon stage is that the race trucks can actually get to us tomorrow night. So the trucks that we have racing on the route will actually get to us, whereas before the route was so difficult, the trucks couldn't get through, and also we stopped at different locations, so we were too fast. We were way ahead of our race trucks. So tomorrow night we'll still have our race trucks carrying essential spares. If there's something to fix, we fix it ourselves, or with one or two mechanics from the race trucks.
And I guess you're also hoping that the food that you have at Marathon is a little bit better than the food was for the chrono.
I must say the ration packs we had this year were a lot better than last year at the chrono. That was the least of my worries personally. For me it was about getting the car right for the stage and that sort of thing. So the camping, that sort of thing, doesn't really bother me. It was more just about having the car and the everything ready for the next stage. So yeah, these when you got your head in the game, it's the small things don't matter. It's all about the car and the performance and every second on the track. Yeah.
What the plan for marathon? How hard do you actually go on day one of it? Is it still pretty much a hectic race for you, or do you really conserve everything on the car?
Well, yeah, you can picture it this way, that the race truck will get there. It's only one truck with minimal parts, whereas every other night we have everything at our disposal in terms of parts and service. So yeah, we got to take it easy tomorrow to make sure there's no big damage. We can't take big risks. Although it will be a fast stage, it's 30% sand, 30% rocks, 30% dirt track. No dunes tomorrow at least, which is good. So we know that our trucks will get to us. But yeah, it's probably going to be an action-packed stage again.
So from the notes on the route, it also says a lot of canyons, and I guess Leonard's going to have to be really wide awake with the navigation to keep things on track.
Yeah. The thing with the canyons is you've always got to pick the right one. As soon as you get down the wrong one, that's where you lose time, and it kind of veers away from the track that you're trying to follow. So, yeah, the navigation should be fun tomorrow.
Brian, we're really proud of all the South African drivers, teams, cars, and the fact that Century and you guys have put so much effort into bringing a large team. We're all shouting for you, and you make us very proud here. Know that the whole of South Africa, all of us, we're behind all the South African cars and teams, and I hope that a little bit of our energy can help you just a little bit for the rest of the race.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, as a South African, yeah, I must say I'm very proud at seeing the bike results. 4 of the South Africans on the top 20 on the first day of prologue, and the same with the cars. To see so many South African names up in the top 20 of the cars as well is outstanding. Never mind just the drivers, the teams, the cars that have been built, that sort of thing. So there's definitely a lot of camaraderie here. It's been great. So well done to Saud and Toyota for winning the stage today. I think that's a fantastic result as well. And yes, really sorry to see Khanil have a devastating crash with Saud as well. So sad about that. But yeah, and Henk leading the race. I mean, it's flipping fantastic. I couldn't be happier for him.
Good time to be a South African at Dakar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're here in force for sure.
Love it, Brian. Thank you very much for talking to us. I know you've got some things to do and rest to have, and with all the absolute very best for you and Leonard and the whole of the Century team for the rest of the race. I hope we talk before the end. Good luck.
All right, cool. Ciao.
Cheers. How awesome is that? Hey? I mean, it takes a little bit of technical difficulties, and sometimes when somebody sends the same link to 3 people at the same time, it doesn't help.
I wonder who would have done that.
Yeah, but I'm technically challenged. That was absolutely fantastic. So for the Centuries, and all the South Africans, and again, 19 years old, youngest winner in the ultimate category on Dakar. Absolutely fantastic. You've got some more of your
we do. So we're gonna
people.
track back because some of these comments came through before or pre-Scormel. Evan Marburg says, looks like the back was a bit excited on the Dacia and kicked up, causing the roll. Very excited, but I mean, sure, there's a lot of rockery and stuff like that to catch our drivers.
And it's also very easy. Let me just say this.
No, for sure.
It's very easy. We sit here, we watch a grainy bit of TV, and should have done this, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Absolutely.
It's another thing when you're sitting in a car doing 140, 150 k's an hour, and you hit a rock. And Sebastian Loeb is multiple world champion. He's driven a few things over a few roads. He's pretty bloody good, but he did get caught out. It's sometimes you're the pigeon, sometimes you're the statue.
Yeah. Absolutely. Bentley and Cass Kruger is talking here about Brad. One would think speeding should not be a problem while racing. We did cover that. And then Bentley says, all Canet must win by hook or by crook. So there we're starting with little conspiracy theories.
Let's just hang fire for a bit. Maybe the penalty gets rescinded. Remember Henk's penalty, that 10-minute penalty?
Yeah.
It came through the next morning. The things here, the phone's going absolutely crazy with purple messages, but we'll talk a little bit about that later. We've got a competition that's coming up. We want to talk about rock, seatbelts, and speeding. We want to talk about marathon. We want to get some of the messages. So while you read me some questions.
Yeah, so Bentley at Eben Marburg waiting for the Dacia to fold, 1 to go. Purple Haze, good evening, thanks for the info. What an epic Dakar year. Absolutely. Every year's the race unfolds differently and you can never predict what's going to happen. Devon Carr, really impressive day for the SA men. Let's have a look here. Eben Marburg, Bentley, those pro drives are over-engineered and too complicated. And Bentley agrees with that 100%. Colin, please weigh in here because this is going to kickstart something. That's what I'm excited about.
Just say that again, over-engineered.
Over-engineered and too complicated. What do you think there, Colin? I see you taking a deep breath. I'm excited to hear what comes out of your mouth.
They are different. They follow the same principle as the Toyotas, as the WCT Amarok. Pretty much, normal sort of turbo car things. They've got slightly different ways of doing things. They've got some beautiful machining of the control arms of the suspension. They all run pretty much the same kind of configuration. The ProDrive do have a very interesting and intricate way of doing things. Beautiful. They're works of art. As maybe too complicated, I don't think so. But it wasn't. That was a Dacia that.
Yeah, but I think every year everyone's trying to go faster and faster. The technology has to come with it. Otherwise we're looking back at the classics, which we should cover.
But it's still got. We are talking about classics. And a Porker and a Land Cruiser.
Lekker. I'm looking forward to that because we sort of neglected them, and I apologize to all the classics out there.
And we're talking about Tay Perry in the side-by-side.
Nice.
And we're going to talk about Stuart Gregory.
So there's a lot to cover. So let's get through these comments, some of them very quickly. Laurie James, can't wait for Ross to take the lead. I don't know if he will. I think he's going to leave it to the end and attack on the last few stages. I don't think he's going to show his cards very early, but again, we all speculate here. We don't really know what the strategy is.
And they're not going to tell us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So they're going to make sure that that's the best kept secret out there, but that is a possibility. If we look at what happened today in the bikes, no one saw that one coming. So yeah, anything can happen, but we're all holding thumbs for Ross, obviously. Johan Grobler, he's testing my English skills here. Please, guys, inquisitorial, not accusatorial. What are the possibilities that the ERTF system's functionality can be selectively manipulated by an external source? Not suggesting foul play. I don't know if you're suggesting anything other than that.
I think it's the lasers that Elon Musk has sent up with the Starlinks. And the lasers are going down there, and if you support Starlink and Elon, then you can choose which car There's a way of have a readers competition, send in an SMS, and randomly it sort of has it would be great for Formula One, where you could choose a misfire for a car. But no, hold on, we digress, guys.
Yes.
Focus, please.
Bentley, Johan Grobler, if the machine ain't working, I ain't pulling over, not the N1, not my job to look in the mirror, get round. Angela Marcia, how's it, Cliff and Colin? This week is really thinning the field. Yeah, Colin, you did predict that, eh? You said they wanted to save on the catering bill.
Yeah. Definitely catering bill and the loo paper bill. Yeah, we are going to see some more attrition in the marathon. It's never nice, but what they do like that they've got is they've got what they call the Dakar experience. So you out of the race, and if you look at the results on the Dakar.com site, you'll see that there's a little dotted block around the numbers, so that you know that they are experienced. So for instance, Christina Gutierrez is back in the experience. Who else? There's somebody else who's also come back in the experience of one of the Fords. Nanny Roma is back in. They had to change a Ford engine. And of course now we're going to have the big Ford versus Toyota engines, where you've got the Ranger Bucky, the 3.5 litre turbo on the Ford that needs changing, and you've got the Land Cruiser turbo engine in the Toyota that Hasn't needed changing so far. But let's not stoke the Ford versus Toyota.
Have we got someone coming in? I can't really hear my
Oh,
ears.
no, the Toyota's got, the Dacia's got a Nissan motor.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got Henry Cohn and Daniel Schroeder, who are busy connecting at the moment,
Yeah.
so we'll get them. One last comment, and then we'll go to them.
Johan Grobler, when the Sentinel is inoperable, you can't overtake, question mark?
You can, but you don't get any cooperation from the guy in front. So the idea is that you come up to somebody and you beep beep, and within a certain time, he should pull over and help you to pass. So the other good thing about the Sentinel is that if there's a car that's parked and you can't see it, it will beep so that you know, keep your eyes open, there's something there.
Yeah.
This year they also have in the dunes, they have a flag that they put on top of the cars so that you can see if somebody's on the other side.
Yeah, I think
of the,
once the terrain starts undulating and
Yeah.
getting a bit carried away there, especially in the dunes and that, then it becomes a little bit difficult. So, yeah, the safer the better. Mike Lawrenson, this guy is flying my flag this Dakar. Clifford, is Colin's hair more blonde than ash blonde these days? I think that maybe he got a squeeze down in the Western Cape and she could be a hairstylist. I'm just saying, I don't know, but stranger things have happened. But your hair looks magnificent.
It's my inner beauty. My inner calmness has come out. I did have a proper relax in the Cape, Mike, and it's all natural. It takes a lot of work crafting this fine specimen of body.
Jan Grobler, Henk fell victim to it from early in the stage. I think, is he referring to...
The speeding earlier in the race, yeah.
Devon Carr, guy also had a phenomenal drive, passing 100 vehicles today.
Yeah.
You did cover that in
I
your
wanted
highlights.
to talk specifically about that, and we did show a picture, I think, did we, of the sand in Guy passing. I mean, he did a really, really good job. I mean, look at that. That's the kind of dust that you see. You can understand how a crash, boom, bang happens in that kind of dust, and you definitely do need the Sentinel or the Squawker. It's horrible, and you know, it's one thing doing 60 k's an hour down a farm road. Another when you're doing 100 and plenty, and there's rocks and stuff and things on the side, and you've got 2,200 or odd kilograms. The car weighs 2,000 kilograms. Put two bodies in and 400 liters of juice in it, and you got 2.5 tons of raging machine. Driver of the day for me was Saud, and followed very closely by Guy, and then by Daniel. Also to come from that far behind with all of that traffic. So 3 South Africans, absolute driver of the day.
Yeah, I mean, you can't dispute that. But a good day all round for South African boys. You know what I mean? We really are having a good week so far, I think. Except for Janelle, obviously, he's had a bit of a rough one. Mark Victor, how do guys get caught for speeding? Surely there are speed limiters on both cars and bikes.
There's or a number of ways. One of them is when you've got a speeding zone and you as a driver are in control of the speed of the car. So you come to a village or a crossing or something where it's a speed restricted area, and let's say the speed limit might be 40 k's an hour and you don't slow down enough, or you speed up too early. That's the one way. The other one is the hard limiter on the car for top speed, because they're limited to cars to 175 k's an hour, trucks I think to 135, and side by side somewhere around about there as well.
Okay.
So on the top speed, and that's just from a safety point of view. You know, the trucks were doing well over 200 k's an hour. We saw Brian Baragwanath and Matthew Serradori, was it 3 years ago with a Century, doing well over 200 k's an hour as well. The things are quick.
Yeah, very quick.
And the difference in energy between 175 and 200 and a bit is huge.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, we don't want to have people hurt.
Daniel Joffe, awesome show, goes to Toyota Gazoo Racing South Africa. Devon Carr, really impressive day for SA men. Ignis Duplessis, who's an off-road
Ignis,
north,
he races off-road
Says,
north.
well done, Brian. These cars don't turn without power steering. Proper hard work do 150k without it.
And Ignis, you know you want a century. You really need, Ignis has got proper...
Is he a boot?
No, he's a strong boy,
guy,
and he
yeah.
knows what it's like to drive. You know you want a century, just do it. Any other...
There's a few, yeah. Cas Kruger, can't we send the SA boys a Starlink system with a winky face?
Yeah, we'd love that, except Starlink doesn't work in Saudi. You can't make a WhatsApp call from Saudi either, but maybe we can get Elon to put a few satellites up there for us. And I mean, he can do everything else.
Yeah.
If you can reverse, if you can catch a rocket motor on with his chopsticks, if you haven't watched that, it is the finest piece of engineering, I think, this century, to take a rocket and park it.
Then Bentley's having a chat there with Johan Grobler, but they're just talking about the signal and overtaking, which we've covered. Johan Grobler at Cas Kruger for Stanje. I mean, that's also Bentley went off left or right. NASA must relax. Cas Kruger. Then Cas Kruger, Johan Grobler, blijkbaar weet hulle nie wat ons weet nie. And then a lot of laughter here. Bentley, FIA will determine if Loeb can continue. Apparently the car is moer.
Yeah, so just let's just digress. You brought that up. No, let's take that for the discussion. It's part of the safety. We've got to stick to the structure. Talking about structure, we're going to overall results in the cars now. Rian. And in our lead in Dakar for the second day in a row, it's Henk Lategan and Brett Cummings. 19 hours, 4 minutes. How cool is that? South Africa, South Africa. Sorry, can we just say that again? In the lead is Henk and Brett in a South African Toyota Gazoo racing car. Day 2. Opened the gap to NASA. You'll see Yazid got a 4-minute penalty, came in 4th. But he's got a 4-minute penalty. Toby Price, 5th overall. Matthew Serradori in a Century Racing factory team, Audi motor, 4x4, and he's 21 minutes. So the gaps are still relatively small. Mitchell Guthrie, really impressed with that in 8th overall. I didn't expect him to be that high up. And Seth Quintero, another kid, youngster, sorry, in 10th. And we start getting down to, where are we? 16th is Sebastian Loeb, right behind Brian Baragwanath. I mean, yes, you've got to finish. Brian had his problems. Sebi had his problems as well. And then in 19th position overall is Corbin Leverton and Tay Perry. They're actually running 3rd in the class. They're in there side by side. So yeah, we did get to talk to them. In 30th position, all the way down here, is Janelle de Villiers and Dirk van Zitswitz. They are 2 hours, 18 minutes behind. We've seen Janelle come from further than that.
Yeah.
And finish on the podium. So we're really hoping for that. And then we spoke, and we get down to, in 128th position. And this is a car, so it's got trucks, and you'll see the numbers. I think it's 128th. No, well, you see, it's moved. It was there, and now he's not. I'm just talking about Guy Bottrell. They are 28 hours behind, so it's even further down there now. It's crazy just looking for these things, you know. It moves. 134th position. As we went on air, they were in 128. Now they're in 134th with a 10-hour 15 penalty, 28 hours and 15 minutes. Spoke to Guy briefly over the WhatsApp messages, and he was saying that they drove. He was really chuffed with what they did. Passed over 100 cars. Worked really hard. Everything worked well. The mechanicians fixed the cars proper. And he's got a good starting position for tomorrow. And let me find this, because it's important. His words are important enough, I think, for us to read them. If I can just,
well,
here we are. He says, I say to him, good starting position tomorrow. He says, yeah, top 20 times because of the dust. Now we can help Henk. And I said, hey, always the team player. And his comment is, the team is here to win. We need to do what we need to do. And at 10 minutes before we came on the show, they were still driving, like Celine Dion, driving all night. So there's a whole lot of other messages, but we'll get to them later. What have you got?
Not much more, unless Henk's got something to
I did briefly
boozle us with, but I've just got CNC tell the competitors to switch their VPNs on. Yeah, we did struggle now. Who couldn't we get into studio?
It's not so much whether it's a VPN or not. The cell phone signal is, in a word, not good.
Yeah, but who couldn't we get hold of now that we're trying to get into studio? Because there were a few guys that Peter was
Henry and Daniel.
Yeah.
And Schroeder and Bottrell and somebody else. I apparently gave everybody the same link.
But yeah, not through lack of trying, but yeah, the signal's just not working for us today. But hopefully we can connect with them at some point. Ryan Bland, you guys should consider your time slot. 7 to 8 is perfect because the stage starts in the middle of another broadcaster's show. So
yeah, but we're the important ones.
I wasn't going to mention them just for the sake of it, but yeah, we are aware of what their time slot looks like. We just figure we're going to do it our own way.
Just on the overalls, just so that for inclusiveness, we like to try and think of everybody. Corbin Leviton and Tay Perry are 22 minutes off Nicolas Cavaliaso and Valentina Petragoni in the challenges, or the side-by-sides. In the trucks, it's an Iveco there we go, there's, that's Tay Perry and Corbin. Love those helmets that they've got. In the trucks, it was an Iveco roadshow, but then Martin Metchik came with his M&M. It's like a chocolate. It's a peanut butter. M&Ms with peanut butter on the inside are brilliant. They're in an M&M, and they are leading that. On the classics, we wanted to talk specifically. Puck Klaasen and Sharon Moore are 9th in their class. They are having fun and rolling well. And then we have Jordan Groger and Wesley Groger in the historics. Now, classics, sorry. We've got some pictures of them in that beautiful Land Rover. Land
Cruiser.
Cruiser.
Land Cruiser, yeah.
Land Cruiser, sorry, made by Toyota. Number 768. They are 44th. And sadly, we don't have results. I mean, check at that. It is the beast of the desert. Got to love a good old classic Land Cruiser. So, for inclusiveness, Jordan and Wesley in their Land Cruiser. Right, that's that one. And apparently we now have to go back to socials, and then we get to our discussion, which is about safety today.
Okay, let's move it on, yeah. Evan Marburg, the Dacia is a reskinned Pro Drive.
A little bit more than that.
Yeah.
It is what was a Pro Drive made by the same people. It's a full-on new development with it. They've taken really cool some of the philosophy that they've taken on that car. You'll see that it's got the most flowing, beautiful, elegant lines and curves in its bodywork. They only used a straight ruler and a 45-degree right angle thingy, and that's how they drew their bodywork. But they've got very, very little overhang. An interesting philosophy that they've gone for it. And it's quick. It rides the sand very well. Doesn't like rocks in the way. But when it gets to dunes, it will fly. The best all-round vehicle for Dakar is the Toyota, without a doubt. You watch how it rides as an all-rounder. You can have the finest dune car in the world, but then it doesn't work on the rocks. You can have a rock car that doesn't work on the dune.
Yeah.
It's Dakar. It's got everything.
Yeah, has to have balance. Keith Koleski, hi guys. Well done to the SA sides. What do you think the key would be for Henk and Brett to stay in P1? What type of pressure is on them from here on? And lastly, did Brett share his biltong?
Yeah, he did. Brett did share the biltong. Henk Lategan, Henk's father, gave them lots of biltong this morning, and they stuck it down their neck with absolute glee. The key for them is mental calmness. And I think Henk, Brett is very good with that. Henk just wants to go flat out and win everything. However, I haven't seen this level of calmness and maturity with him. I think he's notched up and he's gone into the knowledge, or the security, the calmness of knowing that he can win this thing. He'll be good. We've got a beautiful video clip of Henk from this morning, and let's roll it. Let's see the man.
Okay, stage decent. We didn't get out the car. There was a lot of rocks. Very easy to get punches and make big mistakes. But so not a bad stage. We kept it clean and we kept a good pace, an easy pace. Well, not easy. Let's say a constant pace for the whole stage. Our ERTF, or the navigation system, stopped working quite early on. So we had no way of letting the bikes or the cars in front of us know that we are coming. We also had no way of knowing that there are cars coming from behind. So Nasser had to come past us in the dust. I can imagine he's a little bit frustrated, but it's frustrating for us as well. So we'll calm down tonight and then think about tomorrow.
That bit he says there, the calm down and think about it tomorrow. He's got his dad there as well. And Hein is a supreme strategist and very, very strong in the head as well. So, it's a whole team thing. Oh, and on a special note for klein Henk Lategan, baie geluk met jou verjaarsdag. Happy birthday to Henk's son. His birthday today. I think it's very cool. We're not going to sing happy birthday?
Yeah, thank goodness.
We've done that. And of course, he also shares his birthday with the absolute legend, one of the finest movie makers in South Africa, Wimkoos Roots. Happy birthday. Of course, Wimkoos is the father of somebody who I would love to see at Dakar, Richard Roots. I mean, he's crashed a racing car on a track, he's crashed a boat, he's crashed a hot rod. He could crash a desert racing car. Reggie, my man, I love you. We know that if I had a car that I trusted somebody to drive fast with, I'd give it to you.
But so he could crash it. You listed his resume.
He's a guy that you trust implicitly.
He can definitely drive.
I mean, when you see what he does with that Armageddon up the Samola Hill climb, which is coming first week of May, unbelievable. Hell, I'm looking forward to that. Where we are talking about your social things.
Yeah, should we move on here? Kevin Retief, guy doing a fantastic job today after starting so far down the field. Ibn Marburg and full pre-preg carbon just to get it all eaten up in the bushes. Century got it right just to do a simple infusion, low cost on the panels. Don't have to worry about a tree taking off your fender. Yeah.
However, if you've got the budget, you spend it.
Yeah.
And the largest... We are told that the Fords have got the largest budget, kind of unlimited.
Sure. Okay.
And then NASA, who's funding a large portion of the Sand Riders, I believe, is not short of an oil well or two. So, I mean, it's a big difference running on the budgets that Gazoo and Century are running on. It's minuscule compared to... it's the fastest value for money car. Is the South African cars, all three of them.
Yeah. Benjamin Tafu, Shishire and Alex also got a penalty for Alex wearing a seatbelt like JMPD.
Right.
Now it's time to... because
we want to talk about that. That brings us into our safety thing. What do they call it? Whatever.
Safety
so
first.
Earlier on we saw Carlos Sainz. He had a crash. Went and carried on in the stage, slept overnight under supervision of the organizers, and then raced again the next day, came back to the thing, and the scrutineers went and looked at the car. One of the tubes was slightly bent. Sorry, you can't carry on. So part of that is these cars, they're designed with lots of finite element analysis and strength, and if you take two straight things and make them a triangle, they're very, very strong. But if you make one skew, it can squiff.
Yeah, it's a weak point.
So safety is a big thing.
Sure.
So Loeb's car will undergo huge inspection, as did the two Toyotas that had their incident yesterday. And any car that the organisers, at any time, they can just send a scrutiny around and check it out. And if they don't like it, you do have a bit of a problem. And I want to, safety is absolutely critical. And Rion has got Steward's decision number 10, posted on the 7th of the 1st. And that's Shishiray and Winnock in the Mini. And it says, the navigator of car number 202 was not wearing his seatbelts in the correct way for approximately 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
That's
I'll tell you
yeah.
now what happened. And the penalty, or the decision, is to impose a time penalty of 2 minutes on SS2 on competitor number 202. So what actually happened, and this is not the first time penalty we're going to see for seatbelts, for socks, shoes, gloves, helmet, and balaclavas. So they had a change of tire. They got back into the car, driver strapped in first, co-driver gets in, and he started strapping, and they left.
Okay.
And while in those first 20 seconds, he was busy tightening himself into the car. So that's why they got the penalty. And I agree with it 100%, because, you know, to sit with loose seat belts, it's stupid.
Yeah.
When you're driving and you're racing, it's vital that everything is tight and proper. And we're going to have a seatbelt discussion a little bit later, because, you know, it's very important that the H point that we have, hip point, if you put your hands down here and there's your pelvis is a hard point in your body, and that's where the belt is supposed to go around. And if it goes around any squishy bits in a crash, the squishy bits will get squished. So I've seen people in national championship races in this country with the buckle over here, and it's criminal that they even allowed to continue. So in Dakar, they're really, really, really strict of belts in exactly the right position. You've got to have the crotch belts in it as well, gloves, and all the right safety equipment. So I'm very big on safety. If any of you compete, don't complain about stuff, the fireproof stuff that's out of date. It does deteriorate, and it's there for our safety.
Yeah.
Rant over.
Yeah, but I agree with that, because at the end of the day, like, you know, we don't want to be covering an event where there's a lot of fatalities and people getting taken up for silly things, and just adhere to the safety rules. This is probably one of the most dangerous races in the world.
And you know, we see a car and it goes boinky, boinky, boink, and sheds all its bits and pieces, which is great, because as the bits and pieces come off, that's energy that's been absorbed. And then the guys get out and they're able to move, and that's because they're wearing the right equipment and buckled in properly.
It's not like the medical facilities are just around the corner. Sometimes you have to wait a while. So you've got to cover all bases there. Bentley Mtafu, I'll add here his quote here: when we caught all the Toyotas, nobody wanted to open for us. We received a lot of Sentinel system warnings. It was a real shame. I'm going to check if there's a problem.
He's talking specifically about Henk. Henk's Sentinel turned off. It wasn't receiving, and it wasn't pinging. And he did agree that he said that NASA took a long time to get past him, and he would be very frustrated. But all of those things there's enough data to
find an outcome there.
Yeah.
Raymond Duggan, and I think he's agreeing with you here, and I think he's agreeing with most of South Africa. The reliability of the Toyota is one of the characteristics that makes it top. So
And I'll tell you what, Glenn, you know, that in the interview that we played earlier, it's an evolutionary vehicle, and essentially it's pretty similar to the car that's running now in concept, is similar to the car that's been running for the last 7, 8, 9 years. You know, you've seen in Formula One how the evolution goes. Of course, there are a whole lot of new things, but it's a complete bit of improvement, and he was absolutely adamant in designing in proper reliability and serviceability of them. And also knowing that the clutch lasts so long, so you change it just before the end of its life.
Yeah.
And everything is built to have a life and work.
Yeah, start first time every time, eh? Johan Pins, NASA is a crybaby. If he doesn't get a win, then everything is wrong. And then here's a chap. Here's a chap we haven't had in the studio before, or in the studio for a long time. Keith Buerta, somewhere
In America.
gallivanting
Hey,
out in the
Keith.
States with the best beer in the business, says hello. Nice to hear from you, Keith.
Greetings.
Yeah, long
stranger.
time. Yeah, Andrew Spark agreeing with Johan with the comment about Atia as he showed last year. And then Bentley saying, why must they pull over for him? Exactly, who does he think he is?
It's like, you know who I am.
Yeah, and
I'll
it
tell
just,
you why.
it goes on
Because
here.
don't let the rant go.
Yeah, exactly. Who does NASA think he is? He's a crybaby. Next Dacia to fall. Some fighting talk there from Johan. Bentley at Johan Pins, and the penalty before reversal is 6 minutes overspeeding times 2. Sparker South Africa. Hey, these people.
Yeah, there you go.
I love how this is growing into a thing. We should start a poll on this. Sparker South Africa, we like your hair, Colin. Long way to go. Loads will happen still. And I think they're just referring to your hair.
100%. I like my hair as well. But it's actually time to go for a haircut. I'll go to my
It's Bennett.
my supplier. No, it's not a Bennett. It's you get the most wonderful Moroccan coffee there.
Okay.
There's cardamom in it. It tastes kind of cool.
Urban Marburg, the body is based off the Dacia buggy concept released a few years ago as a concept car by Dacia. Johan Krobler, will the Fords reviving or revving as it does to make power?
Absolutely, 100%. That thing is, from a production point of view, it's strong. It's operating well within its power window. These aren't proper racing motors. They are essentially standard motors. The heads have got to be pretty standard crank. The bearings you can fiddle with, pistons just got to be good pistons. No, it'll last.
Duncan Thursby, sorry to question you, but isn't the top speed of the car 170 km an hour? It is. Yeah.
Duncan, you know more about this. You work for Redline. You would know more.
I think the reference you're making was other races, not Dakar. Earlier.
170, I think the others are 135. Thank you for the correction, Duncan. I love it. Hey? At least we know he's watching.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to have some technical gurus assisting us as we make our way through Dakar. Jan Swickers, they will install airbags outside the Dacia for safety. So
They're going to put airbags on the desert for safety.
Nobody likes Dacia. What's happening here?
It's got a Nissan 3-litre V6 turbo in it. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, well, I like the way it looks, and I mean, I think everyone's getting on the Dacia, so I'm gonna just support them for extra abuse in the studio.
Oh, go with the underdogs,
and go with the
Cliffy.
underdog, because it's the ultimate Disney story. We all liked the Mighty Ducks, didn't we? Same.
Do they?
Yeah, exactly. They were the team that no one had any hope on, and then they won at the end.
Are they the guys like, what's it, Michelangelo, Donatello, Leonardo, and who's the other one?
Those are the Ninja Turtles. I'm talking about the Mighty Ducks. Everyone hugs at the end and has a great time with a great soundtrack to play them out on their victory.
How does the soundtrack go?
We'll find one. I'm thinking maybe let's go with Brian Adams.
Come on.
Cass Kruger, does the Sentinel system give confirmation to the requesting driver that the other vehicle actually received the message? And then Johan Krobler says, yes, it does. I read somewhere. And then Cass Kruger says, thanks, Johan.
I love the convos that are going on there, guys. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Richard Wasserman, please tell us about the desert cleanup afterwards. See lots of body bits being left behind in crashes.
Yeah, the theory is that you've got to take what you bring in out of the desert. There is a sweep vehicle. There is a sweep vehicle that will go and pick up all the bits and pieces. I do know that you're supposed to you have to take your wheels and tires out. You can't leave them there. Carbon fiber. That's the thing about windmills. You've got all these wind generating thingies, and when they break, it's the same thing. So the windmill is green, therefore bits of carbon body lying in the desert is green. It's cool.
Sure.
Good logic.
Then we've got here greetings from Lars Berchtold in Villingshausen. So I'm sure that's not somewhere by Potchefstroom.
Wie geht's?
And
Lovely to have you with us.
Andrew Sparks says here at Rachard Wasserman, probably a truck sweeping the route collects the pieces. I mean,
I hope so.
Yeah, we hope for the best. But yeah, that seems to be us for now. Where do you want to take us, Colin? Where are we looking for tomorrow?
Well,
Yes, we're running out of
apparently
time
we've done had our discussion. Did we talk about rocks? Tomorrow, that comes in the next portion of it. I'm learning this running order stuff.
Yeah, me too. It's been
if I haven't got it, I think we need to put a blackboard up here so we can, or a board that is.
Or get Peter in studio with a ruler and he can slap us on the knuckles every time we get it wrong, because then we'd be in a lot of pain.
Well, we've got a review. We've got a performance review after the show.
Wish us luck.
And we know it's going to be harsh because there were things we were supposed to do, and that when Peter says in our ears, "We're now going to do this," I just pretend that I can't hear you.
Now you've told him. Now he knows.
No, he knows. Right. Oh, we're going to tomorrow.
Yes, let's go to tomorrow. So what happens?
So tomorrow is the beginning of the marathon stage.
Yeah.
Marathon is a stage of 2 days. They're going from Al Hanakaya to Alua. They're going to have a little bit of a kip in Alua, and then they're going to Hale. So on the map you see in front of you, in the middle at the bottom, that's where they are now, and they go on the same route for a bit, and they'll be able to service while you're on a common route. They can service up till there, and then where the race vehicles turn off on the green bit, that's onto their liaison. You can't touch them from there, and then that road, that ready road, goes all the way up to Hale, and so the crews will leave the camp where the bivouac where they are tonight, Hanakiaya, and go straight to Hale. They'll sleep in Hale and have a bit of a respite tomorrow. Hopefully they've got better signal in Hale, and we'll be able to talk to all our mechanicians, team managers, etc., in Hale. The cars go off to Alua. They're going to race. That green bitty there was 173 Ks of Liaison 1. They've got 415 Ks to race tomorrow. Starts off with, and you'll see there's a lot of loopity-loop stuff there. It's rocky, goes in through the canyons, and there's some dirt. And in the rocks and the canyon, they're going to have to watch and be very careful about cutting tires, punches. So that's going to be the tricky bit, and making sure that you can get to Hale tomorrow night with Alua. Sorry, Alua. They get to Alua with not using too much time through tires. So that's the tricky bit. They sleep in Alua tomorrow night, and then do another 428 Ks of racing to get to Hale on Thursday night. For Raceday, which is the first of the milestones. If you can make Raceday and you've got some strength left in you and your car's relatively in one piece, the top cars will get completely rebuilt and new drivetrain thrown at them, suspension components, dampers, motors will be inspected. The privateer cars will have most of their stuff inspected. Many of them will have a spare gearbox and diffs put in. Dampers will be overhauled. But that's for Friday. That's race day.
Yeah.
It's going to be a busy day for us because we're going to try and fill it up through the day with inserts for you. And then I have to go. I've got an airport run. I want to go to the airport at 5 o'clock. On Friday afternoon. I'm
so
excited.
lucky, so lucky.
I'm very excited about that. So that's race day, right? So that's race day tomorrow. Hanakaya to Alua, 415 Ks of racing, and we haven't got a start list. I did check now.
Not yet.
We don't have a start list yet. However, it will probably be Saud Variawa, winner of today's stage, youngest winner in ultimate category, who will lead them out onto a virgin stretch of road. No tracks from the bikes, because the bikes will go one way and the cars will go another. So it's not going to be easy for Saud. Francois Cazalet's co-driver is going to have his hands full. There's Brian's picture, his car just in the background here. It is absolutely magnificent. I can just hear that Audi V6, 2.9 litres. Makes lovely noise. What do we expect for tomorrow? A lot of attacking from NASA, Ekstrom, I expect Guy and Janil to have full-on goes. I expect Henk to proceed at a rapid rate, but with some caution. Also, Gurlane Shishore in the Mini. Mini's been Norman nowhere now, but he's second today. They need to prove a point. Sven Quant would want them to do incredibly well. NASA on the attack. Ekstrom, attack. This is for glory. We've still got the herd of Toyotas, with the 2 Dacias, Ford, 2 Fords, and the Century. Going to be great.
Yeah, lots of racing still to come. I've got 3 comments left. Evan Marburg, he said, I know at some point Julian from Century was giving the FIA, and I'm going to edit this word, a hard time because they insisted that they have rubber mats behind the wheels, and he was saying that half the stuff gets left. I think it's referring to sweeping the desert.
Yeah, they're supposed to have mud flaps, dust flaps, blah, blah.
And
Those
then
at the front mainly to protect the...
Jeannie Habig, great drive from
Guy Bottrell.
Toyota.
Yeah.
Well done, Saud, well deserved. Then this biased Mama Bear has to say, Guy is my driver of the day.
She's got another favourite as well.
And who's that?
Her son. Benjamin. Benjamin, the rally driver. Okay, he's not here.
It's not here.
But he would be very good. Yeah.
For now, not her favourite, second favourite. And then when it switches over, then
no,
the
without
favourites
a
change.
doubt, that is the Habig
Parenting
and
101.
Bottrell family. Yeah, look after
And then
them.
in closing, Jose Pablo Valverde Cotto says greetings from Costa Rica, and I think that's us.
Greetings to Costa Rica from Johannesburg, our secret location in Woodmead at our large studio. I've got to say, food.
Food.
What a pizza.
What are you talking about?
What a pizza.
What pizza?
My mouth is watering.
Yeah.
It had the hams finely sliced, like super, super thin. It had the rockets, it had basil, it had tomatoes, the base was a little bit too doughy.
Okay.
I mean, it had fresh parmigiano. Oh. It was all of the deliciousness in the entire world in it. It was better than finger licking good. I would have eaten my fingers off with it. It was magnificent.
That's what I was saying. Obviously, you and I are on 2 different pay grades and sliding scales here, because I licked a chicken's fingers. I didn't have any pizza. What are you talking about?
Get here early.
I was here on time. So based on that,
I mean, that was really, really good.
I base my catering then at 2 because we're not eating the same things here.
That was absolutely. Oh, and there's dessert as well.
I hope that's Pete without his shirt on.
No, there's proper dessert.
Oh, really? That is proper dessert.
There's Maynard's wine gums, fresh.
Yeah.
Got to have wine gums.
We're living large in the Raceday studio.
Yeah, but it really was
Okay, so score
good.
your pizza then, because now my mouth's drooling and all I do is lick a chicken.
Maximum. All of it.
All of it?
All of it.
Okay. She's like, we're sitting in this bar quite
No,
high
it was, my mouth is watering again now.
My mouth's
Sadly,
watering. Yeah.
we've got a bucket of bones to go to, although to all of you, and also to our technical team who took the echo out of my head. The other noises I want them to take out of the head, and I want to get them to calm all the ducks down, but that's for another discussion. To our technical guys, thank you so much. To Rian, to Peter, to our executive producer, he who should be obeyed at all times, Henk, thank you so much. To George and Eric, and to Willem in the background there, your work is really appreciated. It's absolutely fantastic. Clifford, thank you very much. But mostly, thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with us. Thank you for contributing. We really enjoy. Tomorrow we have our first of our competition giveaways. We have possibly another jar of guava and pawpaw jam to give away. It would be magnificent if you could dip your fingers in that jam and taste it. It is fantastic. Thank you for watching. And remember, We'll be back tomorrow at 19:23-ish. And be kind, be happy, be nice. But above all,
marathon finger guns, go.
cheers.